Hey guys, so what's in the box? Well, uh, today is going to be a little different than the videos we normally make. We're going to be opening up and assembling this little rascal right here. It's a KP Mini 150 motorcycle, and these are street legal. And I want to say it's not really it's a not really a Grom clone, but it's kind of like the Grom motorcycle style, meaning it's got the little wheels on it, and it's made to be smaller to handle for around town and stuff like that. And not too long ago, Patrick, one of my boys, decided that he liked this new Grom that came out. Now, this is the Honda Grom. It's got the 125cc engine and a good looking little bike. And they're becoming real popular. A lot of people like them because they are small and they're easy to ride. And there's a few differences between the one Patrick ordered and this Honda name brand. The Grom comes with a 125cc, and if you see, that's got the side view of the engine here. It comes with the horizontal cylinder Honda engine, and which those are cool. Don't get me wrong, it's 125 cc's, and so that gets you around. You could probably run around 50 miles an hour without hurting it. But they do, even the newer ones maybe have a little vibration to them, and you'll notice it on the foot pegs and maybe some even on the handlebars, to where after riding it for a little while, it can be a little bit uncomfortable. But what's going to happen as soon as Honda comes out with a new motorcycle that works really good. Here we go. The Chinese are going to make copies. Okay, so they've got this one here. This is a copy of the Grom, and Chinese manufactured, of course. Now I think this one is the Tao Tao Hellcat. What this copy here is. But now Patrick's bike is called the KP 150, and it's a little different. Instead of the little engine with the horizontal cylinder, it's got the vertical type cylinder, upright cylinder motorcycle engine, and it's a 150cc, so it's a little bit larger. And plus, these things are supposed to be counterbalanced now, so it should be a lot smoother running engine. And also, his was capable of it says 65 miles an hour, so running comfortably. So let's get back to unboxing this and assembling it. And I know, some of you guys are maybe not like, this kind of thing. And if it's not for you, well, that's okay. But others that, maybe buy one of these things, maybe want to see how it comes and, what's all involved with taking it out of the crate and some of the assembly. It's real minor, but pretty cool nonetheless. And again, I want to thank Patrick for uh, bringing this thing over and letting us watch him open it up and put it together. And I also want to thank Jared and Andy for doing the camera work. And Jared's going to assist Patrick with getting this thing uncrated here or unboxed. And I was out there a little bit too because I wanted to see this thing. I was kind of interested in what comes in the box and what this thing looks like. So it's really well packaged. It comes in a steel, looks like it's bolted together, uh, the crate, and it's wrapped in cardboard. And, guys, at any time, if you feel like you want to fast forward to the assembly part, feel free. We just wanted to go through from the beginning to the end here in case somebody gets one and they want to look at and see what's going on step by step. But yeah, it looks like it's mostly assembled. The front wheel is not on it, and the handlebars are not on it. Everything else seems to be assembled. Box over here. I guess that's the small parts. We'll find out in a minute. And there's the engine. Now that's what I like. And the thing about getting one like this. Now, when Patrick checked on the Groms, they were around $4,000 for a Honda Grom, and I think he paid just a little over two for this Lifan KP Mini 150. And the reason I like this deal is because if that engine goes bad, I'm almost certain that anybody could find a 200 or a 250 Honda engine, like something off an older bike, and rebuild it and bolt right up. So, you could go with the Honda engine deal if this one ever fails. Oh, yeah. Now he picked out the white and black color scheme. I kind of like that. And there's that engine. And now these are supposed to be counterbalanced. I don't know. I had bought some other of the Chinese import motorcycles years ago. I bought, like, I think it was a 200cc Highbird brand, which is, just oddball. And it was kind of vibration-y. Now the way this crate is put together, it's bolted, so you just Patrick's got the impact there, zipping the bolts out of it, and that top should just lift off after. Well, he'll have to undo his tire there too, but pretty cool. Here's a box of accessories that comes with it. Patrick using his certified box opening multi-tool there. Oh, there's the battery. Battery and acid ship separate. Okay, good. Okay.
Hardware.
Small parts and reflectors. Oh, cool. Toolkit. Well, those are nice gold anodized tools.
Toolkit.
And, we found out you can use those to assemble the motorcycle, but he's got some other stuff laying around, so just set that to the side.
Like handlebar clamps.
It's like the handlebar clamps and
Spacer for the front wheel.
Front axle spacers, a few other odds and ends.
No, that's mine.
Oh, owner's manual, assembly manual.
This is
And the mirrors.
mirrors.
Those look pretty good. All right, now Patrick and Jared are going to lift that frame up off there. Now, how about that? Isn't that cool? These guys are pretty sharp. Also, the bottom pallet that it's sitting on is also like a welded up steel thing. It's not wood. It's steel. So, afterwards, hey, we're going to have some projects for this metal. Handlebars, okay. Yeah, cool. And they really packed this thing well. So I think it was Texas Power Sports where you got this. And, they're not a sponsor or anything like that. He didn't get any discounts, and they don't sponsor the channel. But they did a good job of shipping and packing. And so, credit where credit's due. All the handlebar controls were wrapped really well. Good. No scuffs. There were no beat up places on the bike. It arrived in perfectly fine, healthy shape, and that's always a plus. I think my Highbird, when I got it years ago, had a big scrape on it when I got it. But you know, I don't care. It got a lot more scrapes on it after that. And again, you know, if you guys want to fast forward to the through the video, you're more than welcome to. This is just you know, Patrick's filming it step by step. You know how to do the assembly. And first thing he's going to do is mount the handlebars, I'm sure, so they can get that front wheel on there. And I'm not certain if the hex head Allen wrench key, Allen wrench comes with the toolkit or not. I think he used the one out of his toolbox. Yeah, need to be tightened up more. Let's just a loose assembly here. Alrighty. Left side. I think that's where the choke goes on there. The choke goes on. Well, we'll get it later. He's just going to do a loose assembly here of the handlebar stuff to keep it from flopping in the way, I'm sure. And I'd like to remind everybody, if you'll notice on those handlebar clamps there, those are, it's a one-piece clamp. You'll get a couple of pieces in the small parts bag that kind of looks like handlebar clamps, but they're separate. Those are not. The handlebar clamp is one piece. Alrighty. Now Patrick's going to try to get his clutch adjustment right. Most of these bikes come with the clutches adjusted right on the very end, and Patrick rides his kind of like I do mine. He likes the clutch down there closer to the handlebar where it releases at. Having a little trouble. Everything's a little tight. There's not really any lubrication on that thing, so he's just having to spin her around.
Okay, go ahead and do it.
All right. After a few minutes of getting that where he wanted it, there we go. Good. Choke work. Okay. And we ended up having to adjust that choke cable again. Just a little bit off. It wasn't hardly from the factory setting there. It wasn't hardly adjusted all the way where it would close the choke all the way. So he did eventually have to adjust that. But that was no big deal. Maybe a 5 minute, adjustment, no big deal. Now this thing does have hydraulic disc brakes up front, so he's mounting the master cylinder and the handle. Now that front axle slides through brackets that are welded onto the lower metal pallet there, so it's kind of okay. That's not a hammer, Patrick. But that's okay. Use what you got, I guess.
Yeah. You're pushing
That's
that front
tight.
portion.
There you go.
Once you
Right. Now it is also handy to have your brother lift this thing up for you. And but I tell you what, that front wheel with the spacers and stuff to get in there is a little difficult to get everything going right. So it takes a few minutes time, and believe me, these little bikes are heavy. And so Jared, although he's a big, strong guy, this is kind of frustrating for him to hold this thing up all this time while Patrick's trying to get the front wheel spacers and stuff in right. And I think they ended up putting a jack under it, yeah, to hold it up, which makes more sense. I mean, that jack doesn't require any muscles. Although it looks like they put it under the exhaust pipe. Hey guys, you know better than that. Well, that's okay. Ah, finally. Got him in there. Good job. Yeah, you would probably want to like lay a rag over your jack and then raise it up on the bottom of the engine. But they just set it on the exhaust pipe there, I guess. Well, one thing's for sure, the exhaust is strong enough to hold it. That's good. Ah, let's get the speedometer on. Yeah. Get in there.
two locking tabs right there. I'll lock into, and then you kind of have to rotate this in.
All right.
It's got a little tab on top that holds it.
Once that's in place, then he can slide his axle through.
Rotating out, moving.
A lot of this stuff of alignment, aligning it up and everything is just a little frustrating, but you guys hang in there. You get it. And from this angle, that engine does look a little wider. So I'm thinking that maybe they did do maybe have some sort of new balance and system installed. I don't know. Okay. Looks like he's been in the small parts bag. It comes with spacers that go in those fender holes. Okay. That makes sense. It's starting to look more like a motorcycle now. And they're doing this late afternoon when it started to cool off a little bit because it was really, really hot out there. That's why I didn't stay out there with them. I would come out there and watch for a few minutes and give a little dad input, and then I would go back inside where it was cool. Most of the camera work here was done by Andy while Patrick's putting it together, and Jared helped some too. So, thanks, guys. Yep. Start everything by hand. Get it in the hole, make sure it doesn't cross thread, then start tightening it down, a little at a time. I've seen videos on YouTube. I know you guys have too, to where somebody will stick the oh, that's the bracket. But I've seen videos where somebody will stick a impact driver on something and start a thread, start a bolt with it with an impact driver. I don't do that. I don't recommend anybody do that because if it's cross threaded, man, that impact driver will just drive it in crossed. So it's best to be safe than sorry. Now that is a pretty cool little bracket. Well made. Yeah, Patrick suffers from the same condition that I do. He has King Kong hands. When you've got big hands, these little bitty parts are frustrating to get going. All right, he's going to open up this bracket a little bit so he can squish it back around the cable once he gets it on. Oh, I see. That's a tight spot up in there. I see the horn there just below him, so he's up there around the front of the motorcycle. And I see why that's a tight spot, yeah. Oh, man. Patrick, I'm glad this was you and not me, buddy. Sorry.
Cut. Then I'll put the cable in
Okay.
the thing and tighten it
Fast
down.
forward to it's on there. No, he didn't show it, but he actually did bend that bracket back around that cable so it held it tight. Yeah, these here, they kind of pinch the cable in, so it holds it pretty good. So So it takes just a few minutes to get the front fender on. Now he's got the doing the battery install, and he had already. I think they had the footage of it, but it turned up missing somehow or got lost. Uh, and filling the battery up with the battery acid because it comes dry, and so you fill the battery up. Let's get the little 6-pack of battery acid and turn the battery upside down and put it on the 6-pack acid and puncture the holes, then flip her back over right side up and let the acid fill up the battery. And then after you're done, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to leave it on a trickle charger for a little while, but it's supposed to be fully charged or charged up good enough when it gets the acid to it. And I remember his it was enough to it started the bike and everything. So I don't suppose you would have to actually charge the battery or anything once you dump the acid in. Probably better too, but not required. Yeah, I was out there watching this part. He's putting battery in. Pretty interesting. I mean, I kind of like the way they got it situated there. And he did put the strap down as a hold down. I think the straps maybe actually for his toolkit. I'm not sure, but he used them for a battery hold down instead. Installed the seat. It was a little wet because it did rain early. And what he's doing there, he's having to hold the choke down because the cable is out of adjustment. But the engine started really, and it sounds really, really smooth. And you can see from the size of the bike, Patrick is a big old boy, okay? But these bikes are kind of small. They're lower stance. It's kind of like a mini bike, really, but it's made to ride on the highway. Pretty legal. Do a quick check of all his electrical stuff. Make sure all the lights and turn signals are working. Really quiet and really smooth. I got to give him credit. That's a good engine. That one on my iBird, it was a 200cc. And man, that thing, it would put your feet to sleep on the foot pegs. And there was so much vibration transferred to the handlebar. After about the first 5 minutes, when you were done riding, you felt like you were having a nervous breakdown. Hands shaking from the vibration. Smooth. And again, Patrick's a big old boy. He's over 6 feet tall, and he's pretty heavyweight. So he's making the bike look a lot smaller than it actually is. But it seems to carry him just fine. Okay, the dogs are giving their input. I guess it's Yorkie approved also. Oh, this is the plastic sticker removal. Yeah, I love to take that film stuff off. Very cool. But like I said, we did change the engine oil out from what came in it. He's running a 2050 motorcycle, full synthetic, and rather than what came in, it smelled like some kind of mineral oil. I'm not certain what it was, but anyway, it's got Mobile One full synthetic motorcycle oil now. But that's all we got for today, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. We'll see you next time.
Kentucky Fried Fixes is a great American. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, or I'll raise your taxes. I don't want to turn it all.